a single mom is really hard. It's so overwhelming and exhausting and emotionally draining. I am so overstimulated and overwhelmed, and I just want a break. And I'm not complaining because I love being a mom and I wouldn't trade it for anything, but it's really hard when you have to do it all on your own. So if you have a single mom friend, hug her. Tell her that she's doing a really good job because she needs to hear it.
Okay, I am a 36, almost 37-year-old single female living in San Diego. And I was seeing a guy for over a month and could not get this guy to ask me out on a proper date. It was like pulling teeth. He wanted to stay at home, get takeout, just be on the couch. And I'm just curious if I'm the only one going through this. And at the end of it, I mean, we're no longer talking. There was about 11 days of radio silence to the point where you're questioning, like, is the guy dead? No, he found someone else. So, yeah, I guess I'm just scratching my head for all the single females out there. Are the men just not putting in the effort anymore?
The hardest part about being single is 100% being able to afford it. It's expensive to be alive, it's expensive to be healthy, it's expensive to live alone, and it's expensive to be a woman. But when you hear those things, I want you to recognize what's your automatic reaction to them. Because for the longest time, mine was, I wish I had a boyfriend to split the bills with. Or I wish I had a boyfriend who paid the bills like a man. And when I sat with that and I pulled back the layers that were there, it exposed the fact that I was taught, it's a learned behavior, it's a learned thought pattern, learned belief, whatever you want to call it. I was taught that in order to improve my financial situation, I had to get a man. I wasn't taught in order to improve my financial situation, I need to improve my skills and therefore market myself in that way and advocate for myself.
Single women over 30 are crashing out hard in 2026 because the brutal cost of living alone is finally destroying their strong, independent fantasy. You spent your 20s rejecting good men, calling them boring or not exciting enough, while chasing thrills and finding yourself. Now rent, utilities, groceries, and every single bill hits you full force with zero help, and suddenly no man is lining up to save you. This isn't bad luck. This is the exact equality you demanded.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a shit what anybody says or what anybody thinks. I have this mindset.
So hard. They make it so hard to be a mom. They take away all of the tender moments of motherhood that you could have had, but you were stuck in survival mode. So you didn't even really get to enjoy it. You're just fucking surviving, trying to raise these kids, trying to do the best you can. And you get $250 a month. What the fuck? That is pennies. That is the gas money it is taking me to drop them off at their father's house and pick them back up. $250 a month. And my ex is a nurse. $250 a month.
Literally. I stayed in the hospital for a whole fucking week because I had an overdose. I overdosed because I literally did not want to be here no more. I didn't have a pulse for 11 something, almost 12 minutes because I didn't want to be here. I felt like this is
Nobody talks about the amount of times as a fucking mom that you sit in the fucking car and just cry, bro. You just fucking cry. Even when you know your tears not gonna fix shit.
And like I might always have to take care of her.
I could talk to the younger me. I would tell me to wait. I would tell me to wait to have kids until I know that I either am financially stable or I'm having a team behind me that can help me because everybody needs a community. And when you are alone doing this,
I don't care who say they're gonna be there for you. I don't care what type of help people think they're going to give you.
Get that fucking abortion. A lot of things. I'll be. If I gave you my love, I tell you what I do. I'd expect a whole lot of love. Right, so we've come up Rivington. Sun's come out. Just what we like. Tyson's loving his life. Just having a bit of a shit time recently on my own. It's just really difficult sometimes being on your own, working, having a mortgage, having all your bills, and then not earning enough money then to like barely live for the month. So the last 2 months I've had £400 a month to live on. So you just think, by the time you've done your food shopping for the month, paid for the dog walker so I can go to work, drive to work with petrol in my car, then expected to use my car for work, so I have to put petrol in again and only get that back at the end of the month. It's just really difficult. I suppose when you're used to being in a relationship where, you know, your joint income is probably take home £5,000 a month after tax between two of you, it's just then difficult going to being on your own and having £400 a month to live on after you've paid all your bills and your mortgage. So you just can't save, got no savings. So if all happens, so it's just really difficult at the minute. So I'll have to look at what I can do about that. But yeah, we just out walking up river.
The cost of living in 2026 has single women over 30 panicking that they can barely survive alone. Of course, it's crushing when you're covering full rent, full groceries, full everything on one income after years of mocking men who offer to provide. You wanted no man to control your life. Now no man is there to lighten the load. Welcome to the singles tax you voted for.
I wonder if any women that are in their 30s and single right now can relate to me on this. So I am 34 and I am single. I live alone. I'm in the UK. I would love children, and I, of course, would love that fantasy dream relationship. However, I'm not willing to settle. And a friend asked me the other day, how do I feel about the thought, like what does it make me feel when I think about bringing a relationship into my life? And it actually really got me questioning whether I actually even want a relationship. But because what it comes down to is like, I don't want mediocre love. Like I'm not accepting that. I am not settling. I've been on a good few dates recently with some nice men. Two. I've been on 2 dates recently with nice men. There was nothing wrong with these men, but they just were an it. And it was on like both terms. I think for both of these men equally, we both thought we knew it wasn't it, you know? And I wonder if I'm asking for too much, and I refuse to believe that's a thing. I've also had friends in the past tell me to lower my standards. I'm sorry, what? No. But also, am I willing to let someone in that isn't incredible? No, like I'm so at peace with being alone that it's going to take a lot for someone to enter my life in that way. Can anyone else relate? Because I equally would love children, and I am so aware that I am 34 and I ain't getting any younger. Time's not slowing down. Yeah, does anyone else relate to that? Like I'm so happy being alone, and I would quite happily spend a year not dating. But I do really want a relationship, but not with a mediocre man. Like, does that make sense? Or is it just this climate at the minute? Like, are all men just mediocre? Like, dating apps are tragic, right? Yeah, I don't know. Let me know if you can relate.
Single mom in 2026 showing the raw reality of the cost of living crisis. Years of "I don't need a man" turned into struggling with every bill while raising kids alone. You rejected stable providers when they were available. Now the math of solo living is hitting harder than ever. Men checked out because they saw this exact future coming.
I often do videos talking about the fact that I'm 39, single, and happy, but today I wanted to tell you about the worst thing about being single. Gotta keep it real. It's not always easy. So yeah, the worst thing about being single is dun, dun, dun. Finances. I have to pay for everything myself. There is no one to share a single bill with. But I'm being serious. Mortgage or rent, bills, food, everything. I get to share costs with nobody. And I know there'll be people like, well, that's your fault. That's your fault because, you know, you're single. You haven't met somebody. You're single, aren't you? It's your fault. Oh, I'm sorry. Should I just be in a relationship just so that I have someone to share the bills with? Does that seem like a good idea? And I cannot even begin to imagine what it's like to be a single parent. There's me and my cat, and I'm struggling, especially in a cost of living crisis, let alone if I had children to feed. Whew. So when it comes to being single, honestly, for me personally, that is the worst thing. Everything else, we good, baby. But the money, before you blame me for being single, just understand that sometimes you can be a really great person. You just didn't meet your match yet. Or should I say, the person you're going to share your bills with.
Is anyone else in their 30s and has almost zero female friends that live even remotely close to you? I always thought that I would have this group of girls that everyone talks about. My girls, you're ride or die. They do anything for you. I never really had that group. And now that I'm in my 30s and I'm a mom, I find it so hard to even invest into a new friendship. Like I feel like I don't have the capacity. And so I feel like I'm gonna die alone without any girlfriends.
More women over 30 choosing to stay single and then quietly admitting how expensive and lonely it actually is. You bragged about the peace of independence until the bills kept stacking with no second income in sight. Men have completely opted out of being your emergency financial savior after being called toxic for wanting traditional roles.
I just went to switch my gym membership from a two-person household to a single household, and I live in Minneapolis and gym prices are very expensive. I also know I belong to a really nice gym, but my half that I was paying for a two-person adult membership was $201 per month, like with taxes and everything. To be on a single membership now, I am having to pay, with taxes, $296 per month for my gym membership to be a single person. I went online and I asked them, I went to the chat and I said, can you explain to me why it cost me almost $100 more to be single? They're like, oh, it's not really divided up by the number of people, whatever. So why is it so expensive for me to be single? There are so many reasons. I'm reminded all the time that being single is more expensive. You don't get the same tax breaks. You don't have a lot of the same financial benefits that you have if you have a two-person household. But gym memberships, I just can't figure out how I'm costing the gym that much more money to be single.
Don't get me wrong, I love being single and I love living alone. It's great, it's fantastic, but fuck, it's expensive. I just spent $600 on brakes on my car, just on the front part of the car, because I couldn't afford all four brakes and axles and rotors and whatever the fuck. And then now I just paid my car payment, which is $500, so I just blew $1,100 in like 3 hours, and it wasn't even like fun, you know? Fuck. Sorry, it's just so overwhelming. Like, you work and 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 you work, and it's just to pay off like your basic necessities. And you can't, like, in this city that I live in, public transport, please. If I were to do public transport, it's like asking to get rate, and I really shouldn't be crying because now I have to go to another work event, and now I'm gonna be all puffy.
living is so expensive. Just keeping yourself alive and floating is so expensive. And what I was saying before I was rudely interrupted is if I were to take public transport here, especially for my job requires a car. I have to have a bunch of shit that I have to lug with me for work. And I can't do that with public transport. I'm venting. Inflation sucks. Just living in America sucks. Living alone sucks. It's great, but it sucks. Because you have to front all the expenses by yourself. I need a husband just so that I can live. So we can split the bills.
Single women over 30 talking about financial priorities and still struggling hard. You're in your 30s with adult money, but still drowning because living alone doubles almost every expense. The nice guys you overlooked in your 20s are now building wealth and peace without you. They're not coming back to rescue the lifestyle you chose.
Well, I'm going to be turning 39 a week from tomorrow, and I am still single. And that makes me sad. Even my own cats are running from me. If you had told 25-year-old Rihanna that on her 39th birthday, she would still be unmarried with no children, I would have laughed in your face or been so angry in disbelief because that is not what I envisioned for my life. In my early 20s, I was never that girl that wanted to get married right away and have a young family. I wanted to be able to experience life. But probably around 25, 26 is when I was like, I do want to be married. And it has just never happened for me for whatever reason. And I have spent years wondering what is wrong with me. Is there something about me? Am I just not supposed to ever be with someone? And the reality is I don't know if I will ever find my person. And I hope that I do. And I want to have children. But at what point do you let that dream go? And I know that like there's still time. 39, you can still have children. There's still time to accomplish all of those things. But it does make me sad to be going into another year of my life without anyone. Sometimes I think being a single woman, it feels like you can't win because no matter what you say, people are always going to be challenging whatever you're feeling. If I say that I'm sad about not being married, people will say you just need to be living your best life. And there's a lot of married people who are unhappy and would do anything to be in your position. If I say that I'm happy and content with my life, there's the other group of people that say your life is meaningless and you will never know fulfillment. And this is what feminism does. And it's really hard for two things to be true at the same time, where I do have things in my life that I enjoy, while I also would love to be in partnership with somebody. So I guess I'm just sharing this because I know I'm not the only single, almost 39-year-old person to have ever existed. I'm not the first and I won't be the last. There's a lot of people that are in my position, but sometimes it can be really hard to exist in this space where you can be really grateful and content in a lot of areas, but also have a longing for something that you don't yet have. And it takes a lot of character to walk through that.
90%. 90% is the tax which I pay for being a single person. I'm going to break down my bills. I live in the city centre in Manchester, and I'm going to tell you exactly how much it would actually cost if I lived here with a partner. So my current monthly costs for living here alone is £1,281. So that's my rent, council tax, water, electricity, and my broadband. However, if I lived here with a partner, granted my council tax 25% single person discount would go, I would be then paying £141. My water would probably go up to about £58, and my electricity, say, £77. And my broadband would stay the same. For two people to then live here, it would cost around £1,356. Now, yes, the cost has gone up, but let's not forget, when you've got two people, usually the bills are split down the middle, and I'm just making that assumption. Not always. If that was the case, my bills would then be £678. So because of this, I've worked out, because I'm living here alone, I'm paying exactly an 89% tax for being a single person, which is kind of crazy.
Life as a single woman over 30 in the USA comes with heavy societal pressure and even heavier bills. You wanted freedom from patriarchy? Now freedom means paying the full singles tax on rent, healthcare, and daily survival with no partner to split costs. Men heard your independence loud and clear and decided to keep their resources for themselves.
So when I talk about what it's like to not need a man, but instead perhaps want one if they bring something to your life, I get a lot of comments about finances. And of course, if you're financially dependent on a man, then that takes some time to extricate yourself. But a lot of the comments also say, like, it's too expensive to live on a one-person income, so I need a man to share the costs. And again, I want to challenge ourselves to deconstruct the patriarchal messaging, deconstruct our internal misogyny that tells us that we need to be with a man in order to have financial support. Because you're right, of course, it is expensive. Cost of living is expensive. But if you start to get into a relationship with a guy that isn't good for you, doesn't bring much to the table, but he brings a paycheck, we're right back where we started. So let's think about it differently. What if you could live with women and share the cost of living? What if you could live with women so that you had a safe, supportive, nurturing environment? You're sharing the household costs. And then from that place of being supported, then you can go out and see if there's a guy you want to hang out with. And you're not giving your power away because you need the help financially. I really think we need to start getting more creative about our solutions so that we can get ourselves out of these problems where we as women find ourselves trapped or stuck because of finances. So I want to challenge that way of thinking. And hey, I've been there too. I was financially dependent on a man. I had little kids. Okay, I'm not talking about like you gotta overhaul your life, but if you are in a place where you're considering, maybe I need a guy to live with to split the bills. What if you lived with a woman? Just saying.
I don't think I will ever understand how people can just start over and be okay. Like, single moms are out there doing it every day. And they make it look so effortless. And I'm like, oh yeah, I can do that. No, the fuck I can't. Like, I'm fucking trying. And like, how do you start? Like, I have nothing. Nobody. And I'm supposed to just make it like everything's okay? How do you do it? How the fuck do you women do it? Because I can't.
Single woman over 30 admitting she lies awake at night grappling with the isolation and financial weight of doing everything alone. You turned down good men who offered stability. Now the crash out is real when no one is coming to help with the burden. This is what happens when you trade consistent providers for temporary excitement.
I can't wait to like a man. Actually like him. Like enough to invite him to my house and stuff. Because I'm walking through Ross looking at all the cute little stuff that I want to redecorate my house with. But who gonna put up curtains and hang pictures and all the little rough and tough stuff? Not me. I'm just a girl. And I know a lot of people gonna be like, oh, that shit is easy to do by yourself. Well, then one of y'all can come do it, because I can't. I need a man.
I can't sleep. I can't eat. I can't drink anything without feeling pain and pain. True pain.
Justice for single people over 30. Except the reality is, single women are the ones crashing out the hardest financially. You demanded to be treated like men in the workplace, but forgot men don't expect someone else to subsidize half their life. The cost of living alone is exposing how much modern women relied on male provision without admitting it.
I don't know if anyone else in their 30s can relate to this, but I feel like life just feels very heavy at the moment. I'm feeling very overwhelmed, confused. I just like don't know how to feel at the moment. I think I'm struggling with the fact that my life is feeling very like stagnant at the moment. I feel like my life, like nothing's changed that much or like progressed in like the last 4 years. And I think it's hard when you're the age that like I am and you're seeing people around you like getting married or getting engaged, or you know, either having children or having more children. Like a lot of my friends now are like having their second child or pregnant with their second child or just got married, and like I'm not there. I want to be there, like, but I just feel like my life's stuck at the moment and I want it to progress, but I'm obviously not in a position where like that's gonna happen anytime soon. And like I think it probably sounds like I'm being really like unsupportive, but like I'm still so happy for my friends, and like I can be like, basically like you can still be happy for other people that they're like having children and getting married and stuff, but you also can feel like really sad as well, like that's not happening for you. Like, I mean, I don't want to get married, like I think it's a scam. I think marriage is a scam, like it's not for me, like, but like I think, I don't know, like I think it's the thought of someone wanting to marry you, like that's what gets me more. Like it's the fact that someone would like you that much. I don't know, I'm fucking chatting shit now, but yeah, I just feel really stuck at the moment, and like nothing's progressing. My life just feels quite flat at the moment, and I'm finding that quite hard, because I want my life to like be progressing and it's not. I don't know if anyone else can relate to this. I probably feel better now I've just say how I'm feeling out loud. Sometimes I feel like that's a good therapy, just to kind of talk it out. But yeah.
Navigating loneliness and the high cost of living alone in your 30s. Translation: the independence you celebrated is now expensive, exhausting, and isolating. Men over 30 are thriving single because they don't carry the same entitlement or lifestyle expectations. You're crashing out because the fantasy never included paying full price forever.
If you've just started living alone and you're finding it difficult, I think I've got something that might help you. I'll start by saying that being okay with being alone does come with time, but you've got to work towards actually being okay with being alone. Arguably, evenings are going to be the most difficult part for you, where probably been at work all day or you've been busy all day and then you come home to nobody. And what you've got to do is find something that you actually look forward to and you enjoy on a night time. And it doesn't have to be fancy, it doesn't have to be expensive. It needs to just be something that you think, oh, I can't wait to do that when I get home. It could be that you plan yourself a nice meal. Again, doesn't have to be expensive, just plan something that you really, really fancy eating. It could be trying a new hobby. So just recently I've started playing Sims 4 again. Not played it for years, just started playing it again, and now I can't wait to get home just to play on Sims. So it might be the time to kind of rediscover things that you once did like doing and then kind of got out of the habit of doing. And the final thing that you could do is just make one small plan every week. Just one. But don't centre it around somebody else doing it with you. Start getting comfortable with actually doing things on your own and feeling okay about it.
The real cost of single life at 30. Budgeting struggles that never seem to end. You rejected men who could have made life easier. Now every expense hits solo and the panic is setting in. High-value men have checked out of saving women who spent years proving they didn't need saving, until the bills proved otherwise.
Something that I didn't realize until very recently was how frequently people with good intentions but don't really realize how they're coming across will infantilize you just because you're a single person over the age of 30. And here are just a couple of comments that come up so frequently, but now I'm realizing you would never say this to someone who is in a serious relationship. One, anytime I stay out past like 10 o'clock, even if I'm just getting dinner with a friend, people will say things like, oh, I could never do that anymore. Make it sound like going out late, not even going crazy, is something that they're too old and too above and they're just too tired. It just is weird. Even those small comments like, enjoy this time while you can, like, thanks. Two, people, especially for things like work events, will often like think they're trying to be helpful but really just subtly infantilizing you when they say things like, oh, you should bring your friend, or you should bring your mom, you should bring your sister. Why would I subject my friend to this work event? I would really only do that for a partner. And do you think that I'm just like too immature to not to like show up to an event by myself? Like, I can hold my own. And last, there's just this subtle energy of you still have a completely open schedule, you have so much time. People will be like, oh, you're so lucky that you have time to do that, or just assume that you can pick up an extra shift at work. It comes up as infantilizing because I have a full plate of responsibilities. And if you find this relatable or enjoyable, join me because I have plenty more.
Women over 30 complaining men aren't stepping up anymore. Of course they're not. You labeled providers as controlling or toxic, then acted shocked when they stopped offering. Now the cost of living alone is destroying the very women who pushed men away. No rescue is coming because men finally protected their own peace and wallet.
Some girl DM'd me today asking me how I was doing so well being single and not wanting to like go on dating apps or date men. And I gave her a genuine response, but I also just came to the biggest memory from last February where I went on Amazon and I ordered pink sheets. Okay, pink sheets. I was at the time dating a man. And I was like, that said man was out of the house at the time. The pink sheets came in the mail. I put the pink sheets on. I came home, or he came home, and he said to me, were we not going to have a conversation about these pink sheets? Mind you, it's my house, my apartment, my bed. And he asked me if we needed to have a conversation about pink sheets. So like when I think about dating a man, granted, I know that the next man I date will be a healthy man, healthy relationship, but I think about that. And I'm like, why, again, would I put myself through anything that could possibly have that outcome? I don't know. But the authentic advice was that you'll literally only be single for so long. Eventually, you will find a person that is going to be your forever person. And when that time comes, you will no longer get to experience what being single is like anymore. You'll forever have a partner, and I'm sure you'll be extremely happy that you have that person with you for the rest of your life. But in the time being, since single is fleeting, I'm going to enjoy every aspect of it and not rush to be with any man that's going to ask me why I got pink sheets on my bed.
How you women over 30 told men for years, I don't need you and I can do it all myself. Now you're crashing out because living alone in this economy is far more expensive than the fantasy sold you. Men took your words seriously, exited the dating market, and left you with the full bill you claimed you wanted.
Divorced, it does not matter whether you are handsome or not, rich or poor. Text me hi, then my day will be better.
Inside my head, I wanna drown my sorrow. No tomorrow.
There are not enough good men on this planet Earth for you ladies to constantly be talking about them. Back it up. You're not getting one. These cycles are all we got outside.
No, you don't need a man. You're strong and independent. Famous last words before the rent is due and the fridge is empty in your 30s. Now single women are crashing out hard with no backup plan because good men stopped playing savior to women who mocked them for years.
If you are single and you feel like your life is harder and also more expensive because you are single, I just want to take a second to validate the heck out of you for that, because it's the truth. And I feel so gaslit by people in relationships so often whenever I talk about stuff like this. Usually it's one of two archetypes of people. Either people who are in relationships that aren't good and they are projecting that they like wish they were single. And so whenever a single person says anything, they're like, it's not all it's cracked up to be. Or the people who are in relationships but who never had to exist for an extended period of time in adulthood as a single person. Like people who went from their parents' house to college to maybe living with a roommate for a year or two to moving in with their partner, and they never had this extended amount of time that they were completely on their own, living alone, paying all their own bills, like responsible fully for themselves. And so they just don't know what they're talking about. I feel gaslit by them so frequently. And I just want to say that if you feel your life is harder because you are single, it's because it is. It's because our society is not set up for you to be single long term in adulthood. Our systems and structures don't operate that way. Our tax code certainly doesn't operate that way. Are you kidding me? Our healthcare system, nothing is set up to support you in this single life. It's just not. And there is nothing more humbling than being 25 years old, never having been in a serious relationship, and having to put down your mother as your emergency contact on every form all the time. And knowing also that if I'm in a foreign country and I break my leg, my mom can't just drop work to come fly and help me. I'm on my own. I'm fully on my own. And there is such a weight and such a mental labor that goes into being single through adulthood for an extended period of time, like chronically single. Your life is harder. Things are more challenging. To get to the airport and get picked up from the airport, to drop off your car, pick up your car at the mechanic, when you need a prescription refilled and when you're sick and you literally can't move in your bed and you need someone to come make you soup and refill your water and find your thermometer. Went through that a few weeks ago. Had to call my mom to come heat up soup for me. And I was crying first because I spent 7 hours, couldn't move, had to wait for my mom to get home from work to come heat up soup for me because I physically couldn't move. Your life is harder as a single person. That's just the truth. And I feel as though I cannot say this so often without people trying to gaslight you into that it's not as hard, or trying to be all toxic positivity about all the benefits of being single. I'm aware of them. I've been single for a long time. I'm well aware of the benefits. I've traveled alone. I do things that I want to do. I live my own life. I have a very full and fulfilling life. I have friends that love me. I have parents that love me. I have a job I love. I have hobbies. I do things. I live my life. Okay? I'm not just sitting around in my apartment all day waiting on some guy to come save me. And I still feel the void in my life that a loving, committed partner would fill. And I still feel the weight and the burden of carrying all of the things on my own shoulders all of the time, of not having someone who has my back. That's it. That's all I got. That's the truth. That's the truth right there. So next time you're sick and you literally can't move from your bed to make your own soup, or you're sick and the world has to keep on spinning, and so you're the one that has to get up and scoop the litter boxes and feed the cats because no one else is going to come home from work and do it. Just think of this and feel a little solidarity. I can't offer you anything else, but you're not alone. I'll tell you that. That's it. Love you. Bye.
Good men saw how women treated providers and simply walked away for good. Women over 30 are now feeling the full weight of solo living with no man stepping in to help. This isn't the economy's fault alone. It's the direct consequence of rejecting stability when it was freely offered. Thanks for watching Male Imperium. Please show us your love by subscribing to the channel using the bell icon. We're also up for debate and some healthy banter, so don't forget to comment under the video.